Hello from SheNation.com. This is Mark Josie. Today I want to talk about Canada's gun law. As I stated in the website of MarkHobbies.com, I just want to kind of like get over the Canadian gun law kind of thing. So usually for Canadian, no matter where you are, the gun laws are about the same. And so this is the general idea, okay? For any guns, like whatever anyone can buy without a license, it's all below 500 FPS. Okay, usually, for safety, you just go to a trusted store and whatever you can buy without a license, it's all legal. And I'm talking about like stores that are more legitimate, not a private kind of deal. Okay, so usually if they sell you guns that require a license, they will ask you for a PAL license, such as air rifles that's over 500 FPS or firearms, stuff like that. They require a PAL license. So usually you won't be going into a store and buy something that require a license by accident and then went home with something that you're not supposed to have. So basically it's very simple, 500 FPS or below. But there's also this rule that say, okay, for example, if I have a gun, okay, for example, this one. This is the Beeman P1, okay? It's a air gun, and it's quite powerful. It's in .22 caliber. Okay, so this gun fires at about 430, 460 FPS average, okay? So let's take a look at this. It's fired below 500 FPS, so it's legal to buy, right? Now, if I put in a pellet that is super light, okay, such as this one, let me show you. Okay, such as the such as a cleaning pellet. Where the heck is my cleaning pellet? Oh gosh. Well, cleaning pellet. I was supposed to show you guys the cleaning pellet, but anyway, such as a cleaning pellet. Cleaning pellets, they are super light and they're made with felt. And so if I plug the cleaning pellet inside this gun, okay, it will shoot over 1000 FPS. So now what? Is this gun illegal? No, it's not. So there's this thingy about, like, a common rule is that the gun fires about below 500 FPS with normal pellets. Okay, just use your common sense. You don't put a little toothpicks in there and start shooting and say, oh, this is over 1000 FPS. No, it won't work. And there's also a limit of 4.2 foot-pound or 5.7 joules of energy. This is like common. So if the gun go over 500 FPS, it needs to also meet the other requirement. And that is why we have paintball guns. Some people say, oh, Canadian gun law sucks. Yeah, I agree to a certain level. But it's better than those countries like Hong Kong, China, Malaysia, Thailand. I mean, not Thailand, but Singapore kind of thing. They, like Singapore and Malaysia, they have like zero guns kind of rule. It's really scary. So you can't have anything. Even Airsoft, they don't even let you have it. But for places like Hong Kong and Japan, they have, or even UK, stuff like that, they have a gun law with restricted, like a limit of foot-pound. And that's a big problem with the law, because if they limit the foot-pound, you cannot go over a certain joules level. Okay, for Canadian, if your gun shoots like 20 joules, but it's below 500 FPS, you're still good, right? So let me give you an example. For paintball gun like this, okay, the Tiberius T 8.1, okay, nice paintball pistol, very powerful. You can adjust it to shoot over 300 FPS as well, but it's not recommended, of course. So these guns do not shoot over 500 FPS, and you can put different projectiles in there. Now I have some hard balls in there, okay? So if you shoot them with paintball, it generates about, let's say, 8 foot-pound to 10 foot-pound kind of thing, about that, okay? If you put rubber balls, 3.9 grams rubber ball from RAV4, like these. These. They are hard rubber, not soft. You cannot squish them, you see? I'm trying to squish it, but you can't. They're so hard. So hard rubber balls, they weigh 3.9 grams. And it will generate, like, say, about 300 FPS. It generates about, what? Oh, yeah. Generates about 19 to 20 joules. Okay, yeah. Okay, about that. And that's a lot of energy. If you shoot some of it, I'm sure that guy would drop down the ground right away and don't want to like get shot. So it's really painful to be shot by rubber round. And police and stuff use those for riot control. So riot rounds, they like fire them at the people and they will really drop them. So it's really scary. And so yeah, you can see these guns that they fire at below 500 FPS, but still generate a lot of energy. So if you have these in Hong Kong, which have a limit of 2 joules only, it's illegal. In Japan, it's 1 joule, so it's even worse. And you know, places in like say UK, they have the 12 foot-pound limit. So if you shoot this gun, say a bit more powerful than usual, it's also illegal. So you need to look at that perspective and say, oh, Canadian gun law sucks. Yeah, it does, but it's better than those that have limit on foot-pound first and not the FPS. And for Canadian, we can have the FPS limit first, and so it's kind of better because we can have the paintball stuff and bigger caliber. So in case you want to have power, you go up the caliber, and you're safe if unless your gun fires over 500 FPS. So if your gun is a say just crazy thought here, so, okay, it's not really possible, but just crazy thought. If you have a Dragon Slayer like the air rifle from Samyang, so it's like a .50 caliber air rifle that shoots very, very powerful, and you kind of do your magic to detune it so that it shoots below 500 FPS, you're still good to go. So you can see, like, and that's why, okay, right now we can have these detuned air arm PCP rifles. They're PCP rifles, and they're made to shoot very, very, very high FPS. And way back before, like a few years before, we cannot have these because they're shooting over 500 FPS. Okay, you can have it, but you need a license. And right now, Airgun stores sell them in a detuned version. So they actually change the hammer spring and all that. So it shoots below 500 FPS, and you can get it for the same price without a license, and you can still play with it. And you know what? For like besides hunting, for target shooting, indoor plane, outdoor plane, you don't need over 500 FPS. Okay, why do you need so many FPS? And one thing is, with these guns, okay, usually for example, okay, if one tank fill gives you about say 80 shots, okay, if you detune the gun to say just nearly 500 FPS, which makes it legal for normal people without the license, you can have more shots per fill. So it's not a bad thing. If you're just doing target shooting, from 80 shots per fill, you get like 160 shots per fill. Why not, right? So one gun that I really want to talk about is this one. This is the Evenix AR6 pistol. It's very, very powerful in the USA version. It's a .22 caliber and shoots at about 1,000 feet per second FPS. So it's a very powerful air rifle for hunting, and it's also very deadly. Also, this is a CR sight, which is very good. Okay, so for a pistol like that, okay, if you use the full power version, it gives you 6 shots per fill. And then after 6 shots, you're down to about like 400 something FPS, and you get like 2 mags, and then you're out. So that's the problem with that strong hammer there, the hammer spring. you get very powerful shots with very little shot per fill because the air reservoir is just that tiny tube there, not a lot of air. So you get like 6 and then 6 good shots, and then after that you get about 4 or 6 more and you're done, and then you need to refill it. So for mine here, you can get about 6 magazines, like 36 shots compared to 10 or 12. Imagine that. So the gun still shoots very powerful. It's about the 500 FPS range, and very, 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 very powerful. Still very deadly, and you get more shots per fill, so not a bad thing. So basically, that's the law for the Canadians for the air guns and airsoft guns and all that. It basically all follow the same rule. So for airsoft guns, the same thing. It's like it falls in the same category. So usually it's 500 FPS or below, or if it's over 500 FPS, does it shoot more than 4.2 foot-pound? So you do the math and see. Usually my rule of thumb is buy from stores that are trusted and like they're well known. For example, if you want to go for airsoft, you can go to like Music, you can go to Hero Army Surplus, you can go to Toronto Airsoft, stuff like that. Air guns, you go to like Airgun stores. There's the DH, I never purchased from them. There's Perma Air and all that stuff. So you buy from trusted brand, trusted company, and you won't go wrong. Usually stuff that require license, they'll ask you for it. Stuff that doesn't require license, you won't get it by accident. So it's very easy to figure out, right? So if, like say, paintball guns, okay? All the paintball guns are legal in Canada and you don't need a license for it. So basically whatever you can buy off the shelf, they're legal and they're very, very legal. So there's no questioning, no guessing, and that's it. So if you're scared that, oh, will my gun be illegal, it's so powerful, no, it won't, because if it's illegal, you cannot buy it anyway. So that's the basic guideline for Canadian gun law, and I must say that the gun law here sucks compared to USA, because I don't even see the difference in how a criminal actually give a shit about the gun law. Like if they actually have to commit a crime, they can actually pick up a knife, club, a hammer, whatever they want to do. Like the gun law doesn't stop criminal. It only stops the Canadians who abide the law and the good Canadian who actually care about the law. But for criminals, they don't give a shit about the law, right? If they do, they won't even commit crimes anyway, right? So I don't see the reason for doing this kind of thing. But I think like for vendors, okay, if they have this rule of selling air guns or airsoft guns, whatever, to people over the age of 18, it's more kind of like a safety concern, but it's also about the parents, because, you know, some crazy parents, they can buy a gun, okay, a firearm, put it home, you know, usually for the USA people, they buy a gun. For the moron parents, you know, they buy a gun, put it home, and don't lock the gun, don't store the gun properly, and then they don't even teach their children the gun safety, and then the children took it and thought it was a toy and keep shooting people, and that's how stuff happens, right? So I would say that parents need to have proper gun safety knowledge, and they need to teach their kids proper gun safety knowledge, and everything will be fine. Okay, usually, you know, with those like, you know, recently they have those, school shootings, crazy people going to the mall shooting people, stuff like that. Those stuff, they are really just because of parenting issues. They have bad parents who doesn't give a shit about their kids, or they don't teach their kids properly. And then, you know what, just like bullying in school, when the kids are so stressed or like tensed up, they explode, and that's what happened when the parents don't teach their kids properly, and that's what happened. Even for adults, when they get into depression, and then they get crazy, they can do all kinds of crazy things. But what does the gun law do to stop these things? I mean, let's look at this, okay? A lot of cops, okay, I mean police, they shoot people to stop whatever they assume are criminals. But we saw this a lot on the news. Is that okay? A kid was holding a toy gun, the toy gun with an orange tip, and then the cops saw it and thought, "Oh shit!" And then they pull the gun and then go bang bang bang, triple tap on the guy, and the cop shot the kid dead. Now, this thing got on the news, and then the chief of police will come out and say, "Our officer did a good job to stop this thing." Okay, bullshit. I mean, why don't we put a law on the cops to say cops cannot shoot people until they verify whatever, right? No, you can't, because they would have all kinds of excuses telling you that, oh, our officer's life is very precious. You cannot risk the life of the officer, whatever. Okay, I'm not going to debate that. But you see, cops can't do these and have their own excuse. Okay, but we citizens have to be restricted by all the laws, and because we are good citizens, we abide the law, and that's why we follow it. For criminals, they don't give a shit about it. So, you see, laws are kind of like that. So, especially for Canadian gun laws, I don't see the point of why that thing will help the country being more peaceful in a way. And I don't really agree to it, but in case you guys are curious why, like what gun law we Canadian have, here we go, you have it. So yeah, I really kind of wish that our gun law is like the USA in a bit, but you know, live in Canada, you cannot do anything about it, and learn the law, play by the rule, and you're safe. So thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe and like. Bye bye.